Alright, so we've just come out from baby socialization time. Our very first one. And that's why they're screaming so much, is because they're a little hungry and they know it, the parents feed them in here. Which, good job, Storm. You're doing it well. Just picking it up. I figured out that, what happened? What's wrong with y'all? I figured out that, probably the reason the Tipplers were being so, bizarre yesterday is, that nest that they're sitting on, their egg was, pretty much due to hatch yesterday, had it survived, being dented. So I think the combination of hearing the kids beneath them, a noise they've never heard before. I mean, we've heard it because we've raised them, but they've never experienced babies. I think combination of that plus their egg being due. It was day 18 yesterday, roughly, in terms of when they started incubating. It looks like they are going to sit a little longer on it, which is what I hoped for Taco's sake. I just think that combination just made them, just really makes their little baby instincts go haywire, and they've just been so interested in the kids that might happen, there's these baby feeding noises happening all the time. Am I in your way? How am I in your way? Are you that big? Huh? You're back. He's back on my shoulder. What is it? I think it's just like a combo that really ignites their feeding instinct when one of them stuffs themselves into the other. So they're just like a little, their instincts are being fired by two different things, and it's just creating really weird behavior. I've brought out the safflower seeds to give the adults some snack time. If the socialization video does not go up first for whatever reason, I imagine it will. It's probably going to be shorter, and I'll probably compile it first and everything. But if it does not, the babies had a good little experience. We definitely didn't seem scared or nervous. We took some head scratches pretty well. Even Plum, who showed enjoyment of head scratchies for what I think is probably the first time. Where you go, Taco? Taco's on my shoulder. Banana did some full-on walking around. I had them both in my lap at separate times, and Banana, started to want to explore, and so I let Banana on the floor, and Banana just took a little walkie. And when I put Banana back in the bowl, Banana said, "Actually, I'd like to be out of the bowl if that's cool with you." They can't get out by themselves, at least not yet. So I just I scooped them out and let them toddle around a little bit, and then Plum was following Banana with around the bowl. So I after I put Plum in my lap, I let Plum do some slightly less coordinated toddling around the bowl, and we seemed to find that good. And we tried to do baggy feeding, but it wasn't really natural for us yet. I'm not great at it. I don't have a lot of practice, so not surprising. Plus, they're only 2 weeks old, so solid seed's a little advanced for them. But I even I simulated a little practice at self feeding. They if you peck at the seed, they'll get the mirror neurons will fire, and they'll sort of reach out and try to do the same thing, and eventually that's how they pick up eating seed for themselves. And we took a couple stabs at it. I don't think we got anything, but trying at 2 weeks I think is actually pretty good. There's a lawnmower going again in the background. It's not in my yard this time, thank God. But I probably will have to bump the background audio down again to compensate, because that is a loud lawnmower. Let's see, get some water in me. I think the purchase of the 3-gallon waterer was a good idea, because I came out today and they had water yesterday. We were completely dry this morning. I obviously filled it up right away. There's water in there now. But they're going through water faster than they were without the kids, and I think it's a good idea to have a bigger source, so it doesn't sneak up on me like that. Like I definitely I developed a bad habit last year out of anxiety, because it was just sitting straight on the floor, so bugs would just like wriggle underneath there, and I would lift up the waterer, and it'd be like a little like circus of bugs just hanging out, and like sometimes they were like really nasty ones. Like I think I saw earwig ones, and I really do not like earwigs. So I got to the point where like my anxiety about it was so bad about finding things underneath there that I like had to ask my mom to do the water maintenance, pretty much. Like I just had to keep an eye on it and then tell her when it needed to be filled. But having it on works like this, and removing that like little space that bugs like so much, and will just hide under and freak me out when I find them. I think it's really improved my my anxiety about the whole situation, and I'm not nearly as concerned about the whole process as I was. Like it was just preventing me from like doing basic care, and that sucked. I don't like that. So I'm really glad that I found a system that my anxiety isn't going to just ruin. Close that firmly. Hey guys! Hey guys! No! It's seed time. Don't be a jerk. You guys can share. He's gonna be a jerk. You gonna be a jerk? So apparently, Hyacinth slash Hemlock is going to be a big boy. Apparently his dad is... What just dripped on me? That's not good. Oh, you were just drinking. That's fine. After yesterday's poop explosion, I think I'm a little paranoid. Apparently Hyacinth's daddy is the biggest bird in Malefix's loft. Which, and apparently Hyacinth is looking like he's going to be a big boy as well. So, we may have 2 little chickens walking around in here. we'll see if Newt remains a big man in the loft. Hi, Taco. Are you not allowed to have any because the Lucerns are bullies? You'll get some. I swear. I'll bring you some. Okay. You'll get your turn. I'm very curious as to who's going to be big man on the loft once Hyacinth / Hemlock gets here. H. Maybe we'll just call him H for now. Whether or not Storm will stay with Newt, or if H will steal her away, because she's certainly she's promiscuous in terms of her men. She likes a certain type. Yeah, you're both huffy because you eat too fast. It's hilarious. I was worried at first, but it's just apparently something stupid pigeons do when they eat their snack too fast. Apparently H's daddy stole Newt's brother's wife, actually. Indigo's wife. So he's got some wife-stealing genes. Plus the size and everything. So we'll see how that goes. It may end up being that it's not H who is henless for a while. It may end up being, I guess, Newt. But honestly, it's not something I can predict at this point. I can't say whether Storm's rather committed or you're so huffy. Just take a breath. Take a breath. Can't say whether Storm's rather committed or she's just gonna pick the biggest, most powerful dude in the loft, no matter what. You know, if he impresses her. Alright, Taco, it's your turn. Hey, Taco. Taco. Come here, Taco. Go on. Get off my head. You can do it. Just land here. There you go. You're gonna eat from there? Alright, that's, not really what I had in mind. But, you know, do what you want to do, I guess. You guys are being absolutely ludicrous yesterday. Absolutely ludicrous. Just insane. It's hilarious. So, my mirror should arrive soonish, I imagine. And then I've got to get, a couple bungees from Tractor Supply to tie it up and, secure it and whatnot. I'm thinking like 3. You know, it's gonna fill up an entire, like, wood to wood slot. So maybe it'll go, like, next to the door. What is it? What is it? I'll put my hand up. What is it? You can just land there if you want to. What was that? Oh, you got a seat. And then you dropped it. So I figure it's 36 inches long, which, I bought thinking that it would fit, just in the wire section. But that is not the case after I measured it, outside. Like I should have done, perhaps, before. I bought it, but I wanted a really long mirror, and I don't think they come in a, you know, several inches shorter. So it's gonna be it's gonna be off the wire, but the bungees are like, I'm gonna like hook them like on the top of the mirror and then on the bottom of the mirror, like over the mirror. So like they won't have like a hi Taco, she likes the screen so much. Oh my god. What's my finger? I'll pick that pee out of your water because I don't know how it got there. Yeah, hi. So I'm gonna do like a bungee on either side and then like a bungee in the middle, just like connect it to the to the hardware cloth and have it brace on the wood. So it'll be off the hardware cloth, but I think it'll be pretty secure anyway. With 3 bungees keeping it in place. Come on, focus, focus. There you go. Focus, focus. See, that's the one problem with this resolution is focus tracking is off. So if your object of focus moves, it doesn't just automatically do it for you. You have to like do it yourself. But 1440p baby, worth it. Though I will say I did have to clear out a lot of my videos from my actual hard drive and, you know, not YouTube. I think most of my videos are just gonna have to live on YouTube permanently and not my computer because boy does the file size really change. You're just getting closer and closer to me. I mean, I'm not like offended, but I am perhaps a little inconvenienced. Oh, honey. Don't punish me. I'm trying to wipe your poop off. Ugh. She says, you put your hand too close to me. You were gonna touch me. I wasn't. I wasn't gonna touch you. But look what you've done. You gonna stand on my hand? That sounds about right. It's nice to get a little taco time. Even if she did poop a really bad one on me. You pooped a bad one on me. It was bad. The birds have been doing me really dirty with the pooping lately. I'm not getting any good ones. I'm just getting the bad ones. I guess, alright, that's not fair. I'm getting a couple good ones. The good ones I count as the ones you can just fling off. You know, they're like just firm enough that they're, you can just, you can fling them and they go. All of them goes. But that wet one was not going to come off without some scraping. So as you can see, I dumped some sticks and hay in the empty nest boxes. So the birds can go find their nesting material, but it doesn't necessarily have to be on the floor. Though obviously some has made it down here anyway. And what are you doing, Taco? She's gonna stay on my arm. You're going for my phone again, aren't you? Because you know, in the loft, especially in the aviary section, which is where I often put it. Oh, honey, don't do that. Don't stand on my phone. Ow! She's so good. And then sometimes she just punishes me for stupid things because she thinks I'm being rude to her. Yeah, I need to work on telling you I'm gonna put my hand on you, don't I? Just so you know what I'm doing. Obviously, there's a feeding happening up there. But yeah, if they're out there, not only do they get rained on and wet, which sort of compromises their structural integrity a little bit, especially if it happens too many times. You know, they just they get in the way and they start falling in the cracks, you know, down there. And you know, when it comes time to hose everything down, it's just a huge hassle to get that stuff out. And this way they can go and get their own nesting material. You know, they can forage for it without having to make my life difficult. What are you doing? Huh? She was stuffing her little beak between my fingers. I guess in this loft you don't have a little beak, do you? That's the Lucerne. I feel like Storm runs almost everywhere she goes. Oh, Newt. I don't know what it is about Newt, but he always looks way worse after feeding than his wife does. How fast are you guys going through this? I feel like that was way fuller a couple days ago. Do you guys need that much grit during breeding time? That's crazy. Also, I in the process of trying to recommend that grit to somebody last night, and finding a complete list of the ingredients, I think there actually is iodine in the base grit that I have, which it's not labeled very clearly on the bucket, but maybe I feel like maybe the chemical is listed, but it's not it's not clearly like this is iodine. Like it's like the scientific name for it or something. But on one of the sites for the this brand, for this particular product, it said iodine was in it. So I'm gonna have to go through the list of ingredients and do like a thorough check. I did buy some seaweed grit in my my latest voice order to add to this grit. Instead of just kelp granules, for one, I have bought a significant quantity of kelp granules, I will say. But once I'm done with that, I figured, better to have a second source ready to go. May not be strictly necessary. I imagine it won't hurt. I don't really think that you can overdose on iodine, at least not easily. Oh, cool! She just ate one of the lentils. I've been adding these little brown lentils, which are they're about the size of the orange lentils, but they're a little tiny bit smaller. I don't see any. They're also harder to spot because they are brown. And the birds don't really seem to mind those like they mind the orange lentils, which apparently I think are just the wrong color. I think they don't like the color. I think they're annoyed that we're just, is my foot in your way? You can deal with it. I fed you out of my hand. You're fine. Taco just walked across my foot like it was nothing. You're good. Back on the stump. Are you guys gonna do courtship on the stump again? No. Okay. Wow, we were just, Are we just stuffing those kids? Hi, Newt. I wonder if this may be partially, because they didn't have any water this morning, and so they needed to dump some extra into their kids or something. But honestly I don't know for sure. They could just be because they're so big they need more feeding. What are you guys doing? Oh, Taco surprised me. I thought she was going right for my eyes. You guys not ready to give up that egg yet? It's fine. Take your time. Please, please, please make a hen. Please. Oh, Newt. Oh, look at that face. Look at that face. I imagine the babies are gonna start walking around soon. Considering Banana went for a little walkabout inside. Though perhaps on your way. Perhaps not for very long. Anyway, he's on my head. Okay. I can deal with that. Which makes me feel better having the baby rails up, just to encourage them not to just tumble right out. Are they just attacking you? You can do it. Saw you do it earlier. She's just not quite as good at letting the kids in her beak. Again, she's just got less practice than Mr. Newt does. Mr. Newt is used to letting her in her mouth, her in his mouth, all the time. Look, oh god, you look terrible on that side. You're like a zombie bird. Alright, is she not doing it right? Is she not doing it right? Is she not doing it right? What are you thinking about? You big plump bird? Oh, I just want to touch you. There's no bird in this loft that I want to touch more than Newt. He's just so round. He's just the roundest little... He's just... I'm not going to say little bird because he's not little. He's a big boy. What was that about? Taco has things to say. I think it's funny when the girls have things to say. They obviously only talk when they really, really have something to say, so it's like, what can I help you with? What can your mate help you with? Hi, Newt. Look how fast that poop is piling up again. I'm gonna have to clean it again tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow I'll have my my new cleaning supplies from Foy's. I got like 3 or 4 different scrapers because the other one I have has got like curved edges, and it makes getting into the cracks really difficult and annoying. Like, I'm just working with a scraper that's got rounded edges and like a dustpan. It's just it's not ideal. I mean, the dustpan works really well on the floor, and the scraper works pretty well on yeah. What was that about? He flew past me because I let him move past me into the aviary. He just flies back around and lands on my head. I've got no idea what I was talking about, but that's fine. Happens. Oh, one side of my back is like it's tight, sore. I'm pretty sure it's from Loft activities, like holding the camera up. Cause I usually do that with the one hand, you know, my right hand. I'm right-handed, so I think maybe doing that every day has slowly stressed out the muscles a little bit. Hi, kiddos. Hi, kiddos. Hi. Here's a little baby. Here's a little baby. Banana. Hi, Plum. Hi. We really enjoyed our little top head scritchies inside. sort of takes us a second to like relax into it, but once we realize we are actually enjoying it, we are we relax a little bit. I don't know if Banana is just the more it's just more confident, or just a little older and therefore just like a little ahead in terms of being able to do things and being confident about it and all that, but Banana seems to really want to explore some things and look around. Plum seems to be a little bit interested in more like what Banana's actually up to. I feel like maybe Banana just has a little more independence, but also like Banana, like for instance, isn't as wiggly as how did this get stuck in here? There you go. Banana just like isn't as wiggly when I pick them up. It's not much of a difference, but they're just not as likely to just flail a wing out. Whereas this one is a little wiggler. Hard to say if it's just because we're fidgety or because we're not as cool with the restraint / contact. I don't know. We'll I'm just trying to observe what I can now. As their personalities start to develop, a little bit at a time, and we'll see how they end up maturing as they get closer and closer to 8 weeks. I'm gonna say this now because I definitely keep forgetting to mention it to the people who are basically lined up for these two. I'm gonna be on a week-long vacation, maybe a little less. It's only 2 hours away, so if we're renting 2 cars, if somebody if I want to go home sooner, I will, and it won't be a week then. But I'll basically be doing that like the week that they turn 8 weeks. So it may be that the kid's gonna go home the next week or the week before. I think Melifex has a policy of trying to ship on Mondays to avoid any postal delays, which sounds like a decent idea to me. So I'm not gonna be there the Monday of the week that they turn 8 weeks probably. So they're gonna have to get shipped out either a week early or a week late. They don't turn exactly 8 weeks on that Monday, but it's like in the middle of a week or something. Maybe like a Tuesday. I guess it's not the middle, but it's not Monday. Taco's playing with my toes. What are you doing? So if you're watching this and you are one of those people, let me know what you would prefer to happen, and we'll see if I can make that happen. When it gets to that time. Honestly, I think I would prefer to ship them the week after than the week before, just to give them an extra extra chance for me to evaluate them and to let them learn bird manners in the loft. But for instance, if you just can't you can't take them for some reason, that I'll just cut out that poop that's happening. if for some reason you just can't take them that next week or something, we can do something else. You know, I'm not also like you know, gonna force anybody to take the kids exactly at 8 weeks. Like, if you need to wait a couple weeks to get everything ready, or you know, 3 weeks, that's fine. I just I would like to keep the kids until they're 8 weeks, and just have that be the sort of standard in terms of when I'm ready to ship them out. But I, you know, there are cases, especially where where I think you know, the next person in line is a really good match for the bird in question, where I will definitely hold the baby a little longer than normal, if necessary. I don't think that will stress out the capacity of the loft too much. I think some short-term holding is perfectly okay. I get that people have circumstances where they can't take a bird instantly, and you know, as long as it's not longer than like a month and a half, maybe, I'm willing to hold a bird for a situation that I think you know, a living situation that I think would be best for it, or like a temperament that I think would be best for that home. Any longer than that, probably the bird will be offered to the next person. But yeah, there's definitely a grace period. I'm not just gonna force you to take the bird instantly. Hi, Taco. What? What was that? Was that to me or your husband? I know that probably at least one of these kids is not gonna have to wait very long, because one of these kids is being picked up by car, and so will not need to be shipped. So you know who you are. I'm pretty sure you watch these videos. Whichever one ends up going to you. As soon as I get back from my vacation, you are pretty much free to come pick them up. You know, whenever you're ready. As I get older, I'll make my notes and try to assess who's better for which of the two homes in the first slot. So it's gonna suck if we get a singleton from the Lucernes, because I'm gonna have to do something about the slot system, because I'm doing it by twos basically. So so you know, I can evaluate by like that couple of people, like which bird is better for which home. Cause you know, some people have like a wait list that you know, there isn't like a line for. It's more like a, you know, they send the bird home with whoever they think is best, and I think that's a really good idea. But I also do believe that you know, if you do arrive you know, sooner, that you should get perhaps you know, at least an opportunity to be offered a bird, you know, before the people who come after you, as long as that bird fits your needs, you know. Like we're definitely happy because we're doing beak spackies, and our quills are up. Which with actual feathers, that would be really cute. It's pretty cute already, but oh, you look so silly. But yeah, I think a system of having a wait list that's you know, order-based plus, you know, like case-based, is the best middle ground that I can do until I can think of something better. I don't want to change my system too much, especially, because right now I think there's, including the people who are in line for, Plum and Banana, there's like 8 people waiting for Lucerne babies, which is, you know, that's gonna be a while to fill up that need, because, you know, I only have 2 currently. You know, one's, you know, destined to be here if nothing goes wrong, but, I may not have a pair that's, actually, you know, producing, you know, a second pair that's actually producing until, you know, winter, or, in the next year. You know, I think the earliest I'm gonna get like a mature breeding bird is fall, but you know, I can't expect babies from you know, a 5-month-old, you know. I don't, it's just not really feasible for most birds. Storm was really early laying her first eggs at 4 months old. That's really early development. You know, most birds don't sexually mature until about 6 months old. And you know, sometimes it depends on the hen, but hens can take up to a year to lay their first clutch. And if that happens, it's you know, it's nothing I can do about it. Just gotta wait until the hen's reproductive system is ready to go. I mean, Malefic's has a hen. Her name is Neil, who you know, she didn't lay her first clutch until she was almost a year old, and then she laid 3 eggs at once. And then Malefic's took one of the eggs to give to another pair that it just had infertile eggs, and she laid another one to replace the 3rd egg. So, you know, there's weird cases like that. That happens. And, you know, it's just, I don't know when I'm gonna have a second pair that's gonna be producing. So, this may take a bit to get through that wait list. I think these 2, the Lucernes I've got, are probably gonna be quick producers. Just judging by the fact that they're already checking out other nests to get ready for their next clutch. So I think maybe they'll really, that spooked you? It was your husband. I think they may be somewhat chain producers if I let them. I'm definitely willing to let them do at least 2 clutches in a row before assessing body condition and making sure that they're not losing weight because of their constant baby production. And you know, if that's the case, they're gonna have to take at least a 1 clutch break. Plus, I'm definitely not gonna breed / let anything hatch at the beginning of July. If they lay a clutch during the middle of July and it's due to hatch in August, that's fine. I'll do that. But July is the riskiest month, at least in my area, in terms of temperatures being too high for kids to be safely produced and fed. It's Maryland's a relatively temperate place, so I think I have a bigger breeding window in the summer than some people. Like Malefics in Texas, I don't know when they have to stop, but their birds are also more accustomed to heat, and I'm sure they do have to take breaks with how hot it can get in Texas. But here it's I looked at the average highs and the average lows over the year, and the average highs are only really supposed to get into the what I would consider the danger zone. Oops. Once it hits July, and then in August the temperatures generally start to fall, slowly, but they're not going up anymore at the very least. And if they do go up, it's very brief. Oh my God, Newt! Oh, you're dripping, buddy. So yeah, I think summer will be a very good time for producing kids, except for that 1 month, and certainly letting them take a break during July isn't a terrible thing. This is gonna be their first couple of clutches. They might need a little practice in taking care of themselves and the kids, and keeping their body condition up. So it may just be working out for the best that I can fit at least 2 clutches in before the dangerous part of the year. Like I'm not super worried about like an older baby, having to deal with the temperatures of July, like a baby born in the previous month. Like at least 2 or 3 weeks before July. I think that's probably safe. But any young peeps that are gonna be due to hatch in early to mid-July, I'm gonna replace with fakes because I don't think it's safe. You can't necessarily accurately predict the weather. But you can look at the past data, and you can say, hey, that month is definitely a risk. We may end up having a really mild July, and it may be a pause for no reason. But we also may end up having a really crappy hot July, and that would definitely be an example of my being cautious for a good reason. I think it's cautious for a good reason anyway, I feel like, but it's, that's cautious with a good reason and proof that I was cautious with a good reason. How's the poop situation there? It's not terrible, I guess. How's it in here? Ooh, that's nasty. Ooh, nasty. I have to dump that out soon. Especially because I know that they're going to either move nests or just reuse that one. They'll reuse nests. As long. Oh, Newt was drinking and he spritz my foot. The Tipplers will reuse their nests several times in a row. Same with the Lucerne, though. Obviously, with kids in one nest, you can't lay eggs there, so you gotta move next door. Which is part of the reason that, especially in breeding lofts, you want to have more boxes than you need. Quote unquote need per pair. Like, you look at the 4 birds in here and you think, well, golly, they only need 4 boxes, right? Or less, or 2 boxes, But that's actually not a good idea. You should always offer like almost double the boxes that you need. I built this with the, I didn't build it. My father did. I asked him to build it. Let's get that straight, just so if he ever sees this, he doesn't judge me for taking credit for his work, his fine work. You know, I asked him to build me at least 8 nest boxes. So if I had to move up to 4 pairs, they would each have a choice between 2 nest boxes. So you always want at least 1 extra for each pair. If you don't, there could definitely be fighting. And you know, peeps can get really hurt. I mean, there could be fighting even if you do you know, have an adequate number of nest boxes. You know, birds are just jerks sometimes. You know, they'll just they'll decide for whatever reason, you know what, I want that nest box. I mean, I got it on film, Newt going in here and trying to kick Cloud out, and you know, the Cloud fought back, as is his duty as the male who owns that nest box, for his wife. You know, if he doesn't protect the nest box, then he's no good to his hen. You know, he's that's why males drive females, is because they have to prove, I can beat up another bird for you. I'm gonna beat up you, so you know I can beat up someone else. That's pretty much the entire purpose of driving, is to prove that you're fit and capable of protecting your nest from birds who want to take it from you. I mean, pigeons are obviously pretty defenseless against the average predator, or even, you know, something I wouldn't consider a predator, but something that could definitely hurt a baby, or even the adults. Like I wouldn't consider a crow a predator, but they could definitely take out a pigeon, and you know, crows will steal baby birds from from any nest, because you know, they want the protein, which is why during a nesting season you see birds mobbing crows, and so you know, the most of the male driving is just proof that he can protect her against other pigeons, because you know, pigeons are not gonna really do great against most of the other dangers that would affect a nest. I mean, any predator of any size could just whack a pigeon, and you know, that would be it. I mean, you know, you look at a weasel, especially the small ones, and you think, man, that's a cute animal, and then you see a weasel take out something 10 times its size, and you're like, oh my god, that's a super predator. And you know, they're not large, they're just extremely dangerous to prey animals, and you know, a cat's gonna take out a pigeon. You know, any sort of a dog that's just like isn't a small animal lover. You know, some dogs you can trust with small animals, because that's just how they are. But you know, there's plenty of dogs that you can't do that with. You know, seagulls, I'm pretty sure could bully a pigeon out of its nest with ease. Hi, dirty boy. And then you know, there's all those birds of prey, which obviously pigeons have no recourse against. You know, pigeons are rather defenseless in terms of other animals. that are, you know, larger than them, or you know, legitimate predators. Like, you know, a starling's not gonna beat up a pigeon, and the dove's not gonna win a pigeon fight. By the way, please don't keep your doves with your pigeons. Your pigeons can seriously harm them. You know, pigeons can misread doves, and also think that they're somewhat attractive because they're so delicate. They look like hens to most males. So if a male just tries to drive a hen, that's a dove, he can seriously hurt her, because dove skin is not made to stand up to the bites of a pigeon. You know, pigeons, they're built to withstand you know, bites from their own kind. And I think doves are about the same, but you know, scale it down a couple notches, and that's gonna give you a more fragile bird. Just a vigorous wing slap from a pigeon, especially a pigeon like Newt's size, to a normal dove of almost any species. Especially one of the really small ones, like a diamond dove. I mean, he could just shatter, you know, bones with the wing slap. I mean, doves are very fragile. I mean, and then it goes the other way for pigeons and parrots. You know, a pigeon can do nothing against a parrot, but a parrot could kill a pigeon anytime it wanted to, if it's the right size. I mean, a parakeet's obviously not going to be able to kill a pigeon, but it can certainly cut their skin, if not you know, break bones. But you know, a conure, or God forbid, something as large as a cockatoo or a macaw could just take out a pigeon, no problem. So yeah, there's a very specific reason why hens, you know, are driven as part of courtship in most cases. It's just a species thing. It's just I'm gonna protect you from our species. It's none of this like I'm gonna protect you from everything, you know, sort of stuff. It's just I can protect the nest from other pigeons. It's funny though, because obviously not every hen requires being driven as part of courtship, because for instance, the father of Cloud and Taco, he was very different in personality than any other male I've had. I think his kids mostly got their mom's personality. She was very confident and outgoing, and you know, she wasn't friendly to us, but she wasn't necessarily scared of us either. But I never once saw him drive her. It was just constant preening every day. He would tell her he loved her every day with some preening. He would come over to her and he would preen her face. It was very, very sweet to watch. So imagine my surprise when Mr. Cloud gets older and he starts to drive Taco around the cage, and it just, to my inexperienced eyes, looks like fighting or domestic abuse or something. And then I do some looking around. I love it how he hops in there. Yeah, I look around and I do some light research, and I find resources like the Ramsey Loft, explaining pigeon behavior and what it's for and why they do what they do. And I was like, oh. Oh. She likes that? That's a thing she likes? Okay. And you know, Newt will do some driving. He doesn't do it as vigorously or as long as nice, smooth, as vigorously or as long as Cloud does, but he does do it. Where'd I go? When Miss Storm first got here, and she was sexually mature, and Mr. Newt wasn't, she would invite Cloud to chase her around, and you know, in a different way than the hazing, you know, like there's hazing and then there's driving, and it's different, you know. You learn to spot the difference. I mean, he would chase her like from perch to perch, all throughout the loft, all over the floor. The hazing is more like resource guarding, and not letting the new birds too close to the existing member's personal space. So, like, you know, if Cloud's hanging out by the water, and a new kid comes over and wants to drink, he's gonna try to haze that new member. But the chasing just all around the aviary, it didn't happen at all for Newt. It just happened for Storm, and Storm was looking at Cloud in a sort of inviting way, like a prove yourself to me kind of way, because she was so horny. And you know, she paired up with a male before she left Melefix's loft, and obviously she really wanted to mate. So, you know, only male available that was mature and willing to do the proper courtship rituals was Cloud. And then Newt got around to maturing, and she was like, oh, alright, cool. Because he's shaped like a lucerne, which is obviously more sexually attractive to her because she was raised by lucernes. So, you know, her sexual preference was shaped into liking lucernes. Probably over any bird shaped not like a lucerne. I wonder if like a classical frill would be a sort of viable partner for a lucerne who had choices like a tippler in the loft too, but no other lucernes. You know, I wonder if the classic old frill would become the mate of choice, because they are shaped more like a lucerne than they are a tippler. Courtship is really funny in pigeons, because they all have their own sort of unique style. And it all seems to, you know, everyone's got their own like preference and what they want to do, and you know, Newt will give her some pecks to drive her, but he doesn't drive her like Cloud drives Taco. Which was the reason that I think Taco laid that somewhat what's the word, compromised egg. It obviously did not have the shell integrity that it should have, because you know, she'd been driven off of 4 eggs in a row. Look at her inspecting the place. So I think she just didn't have the resources to make a decent egg for this clutch, and I think it's why she only laid 1. I think her reproductive system was just completely thrown off by how fast it was required to produce eggs. I think the driving, the relentless driving anyway, was partially due to it being springtime, and the warmth, you know, driving up the the mating hormones a little bit, because it's just easier to raise kids when it's not cold. So like they'll lay all year. They'll do courtship all year. But I think the instinct is probably stronger when it's a decent temperature. And you know, their instincts are like, kids will be easier to take care of in warm weather. So that, and I had just added the new grit, which more than one person has found, including myself, that it greatly increases the vigor of your birds and the energy that they have. And I think the sudden increase of minerals that oh wow, that's not allowed. That's not allowed. That's not yours. I think the sudden increase in energy and the minerals that he had been lacking, like for instance, salt. If your birds are salt deprived, it's really gonna make them tired and just you know, not as vigorous. So like Danny's birds of the Ramsey Loft, they were, at some point they were so salt deprived that they began to try to drink her tears from her eyes, as well as to pick at her scabs, because they wanted salt so badly. Which can show you that they really, really do need it. So, you know, if you're just feeding your pigeons, she smacked my hand, nothing but oyster shell, like I was, and I believe also Danny was doing it, you know, they're getting their calcium, but they are not getting anything else. And you know, they would be like, you know, ragdoves often would be nesting, you know, cliff sides and places where there's a lot of minerals in the rock, and they're getting their minerals like that. And you know, if they're by the ocean, you know, there's definitely salt and iodine available to be had. So I think the new grit just really spiked his whole being. Like, you know, he had the hormone spike, he had this new energy spike, and he just drove her nonstop for weeks. You know, he would let her lay one egg in one of the nest boxes, and then you know, that I found the second egg. The first time I found it like here, and I was like, oh no, did the Lucerne? Did Storm lay her egg in the wrong spot? And it had been dented because it looked like there had been a struggle on top of it. Which would make sense because he'd been fighting her for, you know, weeks. And the second clutch, first egg went in a box. Second egg I found smashed on the ground, probably laid here. You know, it was completely flat. Like, it wasn't just you know, it hadn't just been laid on the floor. Like, it had crashed into the ground, and just splattered. And then he finally calmed down for this clutch, but by then she was am I in your way? I'm sorry. By then she was depleted on the minerals she needed to make a decent egg and to make two of them. So she had a singleton, and you know, the shell was not right, and so it was easily dented. What do you want, Storm? You're just flying around for no reason. I think she's trying to get Newt to chase her around. And she wants to be driven a little bit. So yeah, there's a definite reason for why pigeons court the way they do. But obviously, yeah, I think she's trying to get him to come get her. Because she's just looking at him. She's going around him. She says, "Come here, come get me." I moved out of her way so she can fit in this space, if she wants to. She might be going to the nest. Yep. Are you looking for your husband? But obviously sometimes it is a problem, and it's it's a little extreme, and I mean, there was nothing I could have done about it. Like, how am I gonna stop a male from doing his courtship, without just completely separating him and bringing him inside, which it's not super viable for me. Like, what am I gonna do? Just keep him inside for 2 weeks and hope that stops? What if that makes the problem worse? So, considering it was an abnormal behavior and not something that he does every time she nests, I just waited it out, and he did calm down. He stopped. He's not doing it now. Obviously, he's on his egg all the time, his fake egg, because you destroyed the other one on purpose. Not on purpose, an accident. Is that Newt? It's very heavy. Yeah, it was Newt. There's definitely there's thresholds of acceptable behavior. If he's not being so aggressive that he's like hurting her or crushing eggs like constantly, then I think you gotta let it happen. But a little abnormal spike, I think birds they just have their hormonal differences, and add that to a fixed mineral deficiency, and I think you can just get a recipe for just a little over eagerness. Yeah, I personally, I think I handled it like the only way I could, which was just waiting and seeing if this was going to be a permanent problem. Because if it was, I couldn't keep him. I'd have to give him to someone else or something. I can't let him just wear out Taco like that. I really didn't want to give him up because I do love him. He's my bird. I've had him since he was a baby. But I did prepare myself a little bit just to think about the possibility of having to do it if the problem was not solved by waiting. But as you can see, the problem did solve itself. I guess it's a lesson in if your pigeon's being weird, don't go up there. You know it's not yours. If your pigeon's being weird, there may be a reason for it. Like, puberty, pigeons get weird during puberty. Springtime, they can get weird. Add a new mineral to their diet, they can get weird. And don't panic about it. But do start to assess what you're gonna need to do if the problem continues past a point that you find acceptable. I don't think you should be up there, honey. That's not yours. It's just nobody in here is wildly aggressive. You know, that's my baseline. Nobody is naturally wildly aggressive all the time. That's not a bird I would keep. I know one of the breeders recently discovered that oh, Newt. Oh, he smacked me in the face. One of the breeders recently discovered that they had, you know, like, one of their hens has always been aggressive, and they just hadn't really considered the ramifications of the problem, because she was a good breeder, and then she hurt another bird, not too badly, but just you know, plucked her feathers out in a pretty large swath, and you know, then the breeder was like, well, why did I keep such an aggressive bird? You know, I knew she was aggressive, but you know, it's I really don't think it's their fault for trying. You just you never really know how far a problem behavior is going to go until it becomes like a problem. But you know, once the problem becomes a problem and it doesn't solve itself, that's I think that's when you have to make a decision about what you're gonna do to solve it. So, you know, don't freak out if your pigeon's you know, just a weirdo, you know, just strange or naughty. You know, it might not be permanent. I mean, even standoffish. Storm, for instance, I mean, she's not very into me, but now that I've begun to feed her, she'll let me get so much closer and not develop a defensive stance. I mean, in my earlier videos, you can see that when I bring the camera like this, she just like poofs up and becomes this orb of anger. But that has obviously improved quite a lot. It's just you know, there are solutions to some things. It's not always a crisis. Don't always jump to it being a crisis, because it often isn't. You know, it's just how animal keeping is. You know, things get weird or off, and you just what was that? Did you grab the hardware cloth and just shake it? But yeah, don't jump to it being a crisis. You know, there are little things that happen with animals that just aren't a big deal. Not necessarily, you know? Guys, you know, just because you don't understand it doesn't mean it's you know, the end of the world. Just you know, just think about it calmly. Think if there's any possible solutions. Ask for advice if you need to. And you know, consider that advice with critical thinking, because there's certainly a lot of bad advice out there. Obviously, there's, you know, great sources. You know, the CPC Discord and Danny's house therapy bird Discord. Both great sources for pigeon advice. But you know, you go to some other places and you're gonna find advice that's just not good. Or plain wrong, you know. You know, there's you know, rescues are often providers of decent healthy birds, but you know, they can be wrong and you know, do wrong things. I mean, there's one rescue that you know, told their recent adoptee to cuddle their bird against their bird's will, which is how you get a learned helplessness. in an animal. Pigeons pigeons' whole social structure is really based on respecting each other's personal space, and asserting themselves to protect their own personal space when someone is not doing the right thing. So, like, you know, struggle cuddling your pigeon is a really bad piece of advice to give out. Just teaching your bird that you're never gonna respect their boundaries and that you are a threat. It's I mean even, you know, racers and breeders who are breeding for show, you know, they're not necessarily gonna have the best advice either. They're gonna tell you weird things like how to sex your birds by feeling their hips, or swinging a pendulum or magnet over their head to tell what sex they are, or, you know, giving them totally unhelpful supplements as medicine. There's advice that's based in observation and scientific, you know, thought, and then there's advice that's based in what people want to hear, and you know, superstition, and you know, tradition that should be phased out. So you know, there's I would say, you know, there's certainly crises. There's certainly, you know, things that are gonna go wrong. I have certainly been quite lucky on that front. You know, nothing's ever gone horribly wrong for me. I've been so lucky on the health front. But you know, when you get advice, just you know, think about it for yourself. Think if it makes sense. And if you have any doubts about it, you know, go double check. Double check wherever you can, you know? I think that's reasonable advice for almost any animal care, honestly. Or any anything that involves you know, taking care of anything else. You know, even kids. You know, would you listen to somebody telling you to hug your autistic child, even if they don't want you to hug them? Like, because that'll fix them somehow? Fix them, in quotes? I mean, you know, if you got a doubt about that, please, obviously double check. And, you know, if it doesn't ring true, it probably isn't. You know, advice should generally make sense. If somebody's got some reasons as to why they're giving that advice, you know? Like, you know, in terms of pigeons, why should they only eat seeds? Well, if you look at their anatomy, they've got a very small cecum. I believe it's pronounced that way. Which is, for instance, the organ that allows chickens to have a very omnivorous diet and eat lots of different things. Pigeons have a cecum that is so small it is pretty much unusable. So the only thing that they can eat is embryonic seed tissue. Seeds. Or legumes. Legumes? One of those two. Like peas or lentils. And, you know, obviously grit. Grit is, by the way, not a mechanical thing for your bird. You know, your bird's grinding up their seed just fine by themselves. Grit is entirely for mineral supplement. You know, they don't need to be eating just regular rock, you know, to digest their food. That would be insane. They're not dinosaurs. So I guess technically maybe they are. But, so yeah, this got long, and also a little, I don't want to say judgy, because I feel like that's not right, but intense, maybe? So yeah, those are just my personal thoughts on you know, advice and what you should look for in terms of you know, people giving it to you and handing it out. I personally try to keep a policy of really limiting giving out any advice that I'm not reasonably confident I know the answer for. You know, like if someone asks me about you know, the requirements for keeping an indoor bird, or just a single bird indoors, I don't know if I'm qualified to super answer that, you know? I mean, some things I know. I mean, I can look at some people's setup and go, yeah, that looks good. That looks decent. But if it's in the middle, I don't know, you know? I'm not an expert at indoor keeping. I obviously never was. That's why I moved them out here. You know, I can make judgment calls on some things, and on others, I'm gonna keep my mouth shut and let somebody else weigh in. And on even further others, I will give my thought and then ask you to find more advice, because I may be wrong. I don't want to give somebody advice that will do them harm in any way, especially their animals. So all right, that's the video, I think, because it's been going an hour and 30. That's long enough, I think. We already got 30 minutes of baby socialization time. So I hope you liked the videos today. I hope this wasn't too I don't know, dramatic or I don't know, preachy or whatever. You know, I'd like to make videos that people enjoy watching, and you know, don't hate me speaking. I used to film without saying anything, but honestly, I feel like that just made it weirder because you'd hear me breathing in the background, and it just didn't seem like the right formula for this stuff. So yeah, all right, that's it. Thanks so much for watching. Wish the kids a happy 2 weeks. I love how they have to face the wall. Hi guys. And you know, I'll be out here updating as frequently as I can. Hi Storm, I'm reaching down. Hey. They ignore me. They're like, it doesn't matter, she's talking, because she's not talking to me. Alright. Have a good one, guys.